I'm working with like 5 seconds delay, and then because I'm looking at the stream, and I that's struggle.
Okay.
All right, I'm good.
Hello everyone. Welcome to Heart to Heart with Judge today. How are you?
I am excellent. I'm having an excellent year. How are you doing? Thank you for having me.
Yeah. I love that.
It's been a good year. Yeah. I mean, for me, relatively. It's been a kind of a terrible year, but you asked personally, and it's been a good year for me.
Okay. Good. You mean in the last 2 months or like?
I don't know. Whichever. Both. 12 or 2. Both have had their ups, for sure.
Okay, so what's the highlights of your year then?
There were a lot of good things this year. I'd say probably if we're talking 12 months, the top would be getting married. Would have to be up there.
Yeah. When was it?
I think March of last year, March 27th. So getting close to that not being within the year. 1 year anniversary coming up. It's in exactly 1 month. It's the 27th, right?
Yes.
So 11 months ago. Yeah. Got married in Alaska. It was gorgeous. Outside on a river. It was like -10. It was rather chilly, but it was beautiful. It was gorgeous. The background looked like it was fake. Looked like it was made up. It was awesome.
Wow.
Had to run away to Alaska because right in the height of restrictions for COVID, and we had to. Okay, there was a lot of reasons to get married. First and foremost is we wanted to get married and not wait until after COVID was done with, but also getting a head start on immigration so I can move and live with my wife was also something to consider there too.
And so why Alaska?
So we talked about a lot of different places, and Alaska was one we both independently came up with. One, it's absolutely gorgeous. Like I'm like not exaggerating when I said the background looked fake. Like it looked like a card. Like I wasn't certain I was in real life. It's unbelievably beautiful. And we figured that since I'm Canadian and she's American, it kind of was like, I feel like Alaska is kind of like as halfway in between both places as you're gonna get, right? The Canada of the States, pretty much.
Yes.
So yeah, no, that mostly though, I think that was like kind of a secondary factor. Mostly just because it was just gorgeous.
Okay, and was it easy to travel during like COVID to Alaska?
So it was. So my family didn't go. We eloped. It was just a 5-person wedding. Yeah. However, it was very easy to travel to the States. To get into the States was super, super easy. They had you could, contrary to popular belief, you could just fly into the States anytime during the entire pandemic, and it was just no problem. I think only recently they imposed needing a test to fly to the States. To get into Canada was impossible. So ended up, getting married in Canada. I don't think actually could have it happened? No, I don't think so. She could only come into Canada easily through COVID after we were married. But before that, we had to be going into the States.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna be trying to look for some pictures. Is there some on your Instagram?
There is one. I think there's one on my Instagram, and it shouldn't be too hard to find. It's not too many ago. We've got obviously hundreds and hundreds of excellent pictures.
Post more. We want to see.
I know. I should.
Do it.
After this interview, for sure. After this interview, for those watching, I'll post a couple more on my Instagram page, on Twitter. I promise I will.
And keep one for your 1 year anniversary.
We're gonna. That's a good. We're probably gonna have to blow a few up and keep a couple after this month.
Good. So, how did you meet with your wife?
We met at TwitchCon 2019.
No.
So yep.
Whoa.
So I stayed in. So this was literally the last TwitchCon, because all the ones since were canceled, and I stayed in a place. I met her through Happa Bear. Actually, is the person who introduced us. Pretty much introduced us, but it's because Happa Bear knew Glitch Bunny that she like came over to the place that. Myself, Happa Bear, I don't know, some of these names. A-Dubs used to be an awesome arena streamer who doesn't stream as much anymore, was there. Same with Too Cool. But we had a bunch of us together, and she ended up coming over and visiting us through Happa. And the first night we met, we we talked like until 5 in the morning and drank way too much rum. I think it was the most. After meeting my wife for the first time at TwitchCon, that was probably the most hungover I've been in years, and I think that the same with her. So we met through Happa, got hammered, and fell in love. You know, a classic TwitchCon story.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is like modern romance.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, right. It was also interesting that we had never like. I think she had heard of my name at the time. Like back then, I was obviously it was a long time ago. I was a much smaller streamer, just kind of like poking my head into Hearthstone. And I think she had heard of my name maybe through Happa, but like I didn't know who she was. Like usually when you're going to TwitchCon, you're like, oh, this person from chat or this person. But we had no idea who we each other were. So it was even more unlikely.
She's a streamer? She's a streamer too?
She's not. She has streamed like here and there, just whenever she feels like it. She hasn't streamed in a long time, but more of a viewer. She's always she used to stream. I wonder if people who are watching remember the wives. What was it called? The wives chat. What did they have? It was Happa Bear, Risa, Brookworm, and Glitch that they did every week. And so last time she streamed a little more consistently was once a week with that. Which was probably now a couple years ago, now that I think about it. Probably like 2 years ago. So yeah, I'm not really a streamer, though.
Okay, good. And so that means it's been 4 years you're together?
It's been, let's see, 1 year anniversary, but coming up on 3, so it was September of 2019, right? So we'd be coming up to 3 years for next TwitchCon.
3 years, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. I'm just trying to like keep a track of my head. Yes, that sounds right. So it seems like all just one big year since we got rocked by COVID pretty shortly after we met. Yeah.
So 3 years, good.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's dig into you as a streamer. For the first question, classic one, your name. How did you come up with your name?
So, funny question. My parents actually came up with my name. Do you mean
the first?
I gotta come clean. I watched. Whose was it? Was it Nina's? I was just watching last week. I knew you were gonna ask this because you started Nina's with this, and I was like, oh, I didn't just think of that on the spot. That's pretty funny though, right? I need time to think of good jokes. I assume you mean my Twitch name. So Judge is a reference to the show Arrested Development. There is a small segment in one of the seasons. You know what? Just go watch Arrested Development, I guess, everybody, because how do I explain this reference? There is a large section with a lot of Judge jokes. A few of my clips that I use for like subscribers and followers are references to that as well, taking small clips from Arrested Development. There's also the factor that like I felt like if I was going to start streaming, I changed my name in Hearthstone from something completely different to Judge a few months before I started streaming, just to get like a simple name like ready to go. Something without like numbers in it, and like one syllable was key because like if not for viewers to remember the name, for me to like say it and stuff. So it was a combination of the reference and also just something that was clean and simple and easy to remember, especially when you're starting out, right? Having a name that if someone leaves the stream, say that you got 5 viewers and someone comes in and sees your name and it's something like a couple letters and a couple numbers, they're not going to remember that when they come back, right? So that was a part of it as well.
Good, good, good. Well, that is always the good way to start, to have like a short name so people can
Yeah.
remember without numbers and things like that.
And even before I changed it, like I feel like it came to me like I had a roommate who kept bugging me to stream for a long time. And I kind of had the idea, like, what would I call myself if I ever were to start this? And so I feel like the idea was like, even before I changed my name on Hearthstone, it was like a year old before I started streaming that I had the idea.
So that leads me to my next question. How did you decide to start streaming?
Good question. Well, I had this roommate, and he just kept bugging me. It's actually kind of true. I really had not stepped on Twitch at all, like as a viewer ever. I was not once a viewer on Twitch before I started actually streaming live. The only experience I had on Twitch, which I didn't even know it was Twitch at the time, well, or like what Twitch was at the time, was when Twitch Plays Pokemon was a huge thing. Do you remember, did you ever? I'm sure a lot of people know what I'm talking about. Twitch Plays Pokemon was huge in, I want to say like 2014 or 15 or something like that. And my roommate in university showed me, and I thought it was just the greatest thing. And for a few days I was on Twitch unknowingly, didn't even know what the platform was. Outside of that, had never been on the website. But my roommate, after my first year of living in residence university, I moved in with a few people from my residence into a house for the remaining few years. And one of those people just watched a ton of content on YouTube and Twitch, a lot of different games, and is actually the person who showed me Hearthstone in the first place. I hadn't heard of the game. And he showed me probably just after Goblins versus Gnomes came out, or like in between Goblins versus Gnomes and the Grand Tournament, and said, "Hey, you like strategy games? You play a lot of chess and stuff, and I know you like cards. Check this game out." And so I started playing. I got reasonably good at it, and I would be, making decks and doing stuff in the living room on my phone, and just be talking to him about stuff, and he'd be like, "Dude, you should just stream. Like you're doing everything a streamer would do anyway, as you talk to me. Like, might as well give it a try." And I was like, "That sounds dumb," and so I didn't for years. He's like probably about 3 years after he originally told me to stream is when I started. I waited till I graduated school. I think I ended up drunkenly making a deal with him that if I made Legend in a certain month, that I would give streaming a try, because I played pretty casually, and especially back then, you needed to grind a lot more to make Legend. That was when you started like rank 20, and the grind was all the way from rank 20 every season. No, pretty much no matter what. So I made Legend that month and said, "Fine, I'll give it a try." Tried it and didn't stop. So it turns out I liked it. I don't know. So thanks to my roommate for getting me to do this. His persistence, I'm telling you.
That's crazy that he told you so many times, and
I was like, "Nah, dude. I don't have that time. It sounds, you want me to, like, I'm going to put how many hours into playing video games and hoping that it'll turn into something? Like, that's just nonsense, right?" I was like, that makes no sense, man. I'm going to focus on school. I'm going to get my degree, and then I'm probably going to go get my master's degree. And then, like, in between my undergrad degree and what I thought was going to be maybe a year break to get my master's, I said, "Okay, I'll work full-time to make some money to pay for school, and I'll try streaming a little bit here and there just to see what it's all about." And then I never went to get my master's degree. Yeah. Yeah. I was more surprised than anybody, I think, that, I ended up where I am. And it's crazy because, like, you think about it, like, he's bugging me to start streaming, and I started streaming a little less than a year before that TwitchCon I went to, and if I hadn't, then I don't meet my wife, which is pretty insane to think about too.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah.
And do you have another job, or you just do streaming for a living?
Now I just do streaming for a living. I had another job that was, like I said, I was going to work to make some money for school, and I was serving tables part time through my undergrad, and then just served tables full time for that year, and so I used to stream at night and serve tables during the day to make money. And then I lost my job in March 2020 when COVID hit. All the restaurants shut down. And it just seemed like the perfect excuse to just try to go full time with streaming. So I switched from nights to a small stream, 2 streams a day, small ones, one in the afternoon and one at night, to not just leave all the nighttime viewers high and dry. And then 2 months later, I switched it fully to days. And then it went well. It went well after switching to days. I feel like it's like, as much as, obviously COVID really devastated a lot of people and a lot of jobs, as far as making it for streaming goes, it's one of the few things that was, in a strictly business sense, affected positively, right? So many more people are stuck at home watching content, right? Like viewership on Twitch in general, regardless of the channel, skyrocketed. And so my numbers went up pretty significantly after losing my serving job, and I was able to put the full-time effort into it.
That's great. It's a bit like something negative and it changed into something positive.
I mean, right, if I could choose, I mean, I would still, I'd rather not have the world rocked by a pandemic, but it sped things along a little bit, and made a decision for me, pretty much, right? Because it's like, how much time do I put into streaming when I'm not making nearly as much money doing this as my actual job, right? What's the rate I need to grow this to be practical and save some money, right? It was kind of hard. And then I was like, oh, okay, joke's on me. I'm not making any money no matter what, because everything's shut down, and, just gave it a go.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a good timing to give it a go. Okay, so now if we talk about Arena, how did you end up playing Arena? Like,
I was 100% sure that this question was coming, of course. So when I started streaming, I kind of streamed, again, I had never been on Twitch. I didn't even know there was like how communities worked, right? Like you talked about an Arena community or a BG's community. I didn't even know that kind of stuff existed. I'd never been on the website before. So I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing at all. So I was playing kind of just whatever I wanted. I even streamed some Tavern Brawls way back, everyone, when I started, some Constructed, some Arena.
I streamed Tavern Brawl.
Yeah, let's go. We need more Tavern Brawl representation. Come on.
Stream all the game modes.
Yeah. So good. But so I streamed kind of whatever. I mostly played Constructed before I started streaming, with a little bit of Arena here and there when I felt like it. And one time I was streaming Arena pretty shortly after I started streaming, just like maybe a month or two in, and I got a raid from, again, like at the time I didn't even know what raids were. I was so confused. I got a raid from one of the best, possibly the best player in North America to ever play, and that's Boozer. Boozer TV at the time, for those who know, just I think he's probably, between him and A-Dubs, probably like the best Arena player in NA of all time. And I was playing Arena. He brought the Arena community over because I was playing Arena, and then I got a few people who came back to the stream and loved Arena. And they were like, oh, are we playing Arena today? And I was like, sure, yeah, why not? Sounds good. So I kept playing Arena, and it was super fun. And let's see, that raid probably happened around December of 2018. And then February of 2019, I decided I would try to complete 30 runs in a month to see if I could make Leaderboard. And back then, my average for Arena was probably like 5.5 wins per run. And then I decided to like really do some research into stats and really look into how to like learn how to play Arena. Boozer helped me out with that as well. Way back, Boozer and Veritas both at that time. And I got pretty lucky in my first attempt, and I finished number 5 in North America on my very first leaderboard attempt. And was like, hey, this is pretty good. And you know, after that, you know, my name gets up on the leaderboard, and then I got a little more popularity from that too, and I was enjoying it. So arena stuck. So Boozer's a big thanks to the reason why I'm an arena streamer.
Is Boozer still streaming?
No, he so it's tough when you're a streamer growing and you have any sort of life outside of Twitch. That was something that I luckily didn't have, and it assisted in my growth tremendously. He has another job, he has a wife, and then he had his first child on the way and decided that he just needed to prioritize his personal life rather than Twitch. Which at the great cost of a lot of arena fans, but I don't know the last time he's been live. Don't know how much he's paying attention to arena anymore. I know he congratulated me on my number 1 just a couple months ago, so at least he's keeping an eye maybe here and there. But yeah, it's been a little bit since he's been streaming regularly.
Yeah, so you got number 1 arena leaderboard. So
I did, yeah.
So yes, how did it feel?
Oh, it was great. I have had so many top 5s and 10s before that number 1, and it's like, you know, you ask people like, who's number 3? No, who cares about number 3, right? Everyone knows who's number 1 at the time. So I was working for it for a long time, and to get it finally, the final straw was, I've mentioned his name a couple times, Veritas. For those who are watching and don't know, I co-op with Veritas once a week. He is another very, very strong arena player, and he got number 1 the leaderboard prior to mine, and neither of us had a number 1 before. So he got that number 1, and that was kind of like the last straw for me. I was like, no, I can't co-op with this guy once a week, and he's the number 1 player, and I'm right. It's unacceptable. We co-op on my channel, for crying out loud. I can't have him outstaging me like that. So I worked hard, and I made sure to land that number 1. I actually tied with Language Hacker for that number 1, but beat him out in a tie break by getting one more 12-win run. So very, very close to losing in a title. I would have been a little upset at him, to be honest.
Wow.
Yeah, very close.
Yeah, and like, so how many leaderboards did you do before getting number 1?
That's a good question. So in February 2019 was my first leaderboard with a lot of beginner's luck, because I really wasn't nearly as good back then. Just high rolled a lot of the top class at the time. And then I missed leaderboards in March 2019 by 1 win, by 0.03. And that was the only leaderboard I've missed. So since March 2019, I've hit, I think everyone has been a top 50 at least 2. So I've got something like, I want to say something like 10 to 12 top 10s, like 5 or so top 5s maybe, and then a little less than that since that mark.
Nice.
So yeah, and they changed it. They used to be 1 month leaderboards, and now it's 2 month. So I'm not 100% sure how many, but like enough to be proud of, I think, you know.
Yes, totally. Oh my god. I mean, well, to be at the leaderboard first, it's really like an accomplishment. Just to be in it.
It's true. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I you know, like I put in, like I said, that first month that I made that leaderboard, I did like so much number crunching and so much research into stats, and you know, trying to learn exactly. I know sometimes people don't really get that from my channel, because I just goof around a lot and don't talk stats too much. But of course, you know, any good player is looking at a lot of numbers, or at least thinking about even if you're not doing it directly, thinking about, you know, exactly how to more or less maximize your wins, right?
Yes.
At least a couple rules too, even if you're not doing it like completely optimal, like number of 2s, number of 3s to draft and stuff like that.
Oh, You do have some kind of a curve, like a judge curve.
Absolutely. Well, I've got a few judge curves. Not all of them are all that consistent, but there are definitely curves that you strive for with certain classes to be more consistent. I've gotten a little less disciplined over the years, but sometimes we find ways to make different decks work now. But
Well,
there definitely are curves you try to look for.
Can you talk about the curves? How
Yeah. Okay.
Like if we go into specific classes?
Sure. So the thing is that each like curve you're going to strive for is going to change meta to meta because you're going to have different sets of cards in. You're going to have more or less AOE. So there are a couple like basic rules to follow between any meta that are very much the basics, and then meta to meta you can adjust those accordingly to what sets are in. For me, I'm looking at about a third of my deck being 2s and 3s, pretty consistently. So 5 is my magic number for how many 3-drops I want. And when I say 3-drops, I mean like 3-cost cards that are well statted. Like something like Cabal Courier, that's a 3-mana 2/2, is not a 3, right? That's a late game card. So I'm talking good old spider tanks, give me 5 of those. Something with like a 7 stats on it. Like 4 3s, 3 4s. Anything that's a 3/3 or less is like, don't really care for that on 3. So about 10 2s and 3s that are just good stats. Yeah, Arena is a lot of stats, and then like a little bit, even now when the cards have gotten so insane, right? Obviously, there's been some huge power creep over the last little while. And even still, like Spider Tank and Yeti remain very, very solid arena picks. You fill in your stats around, you fill in the effects around those stats. Outside of that, couple ones, it's very meta dependent whether you want 1-drops or not. Starting from 1 can be extremely, extremely strong in like strict curve metas. And then if it's a meta with just like a ton of AoE, you can find yourself just falling behind in resources. So 1-drops are very meta dependent. And then couple mid-range, couple late game, couple value cards. It's all about those 2s to 4s and pure stats. Then we get into like, I could talk about this so long because you go class to class, and Warlock and Hunter, I could take like, honestly, like 10 1-drops and like 12 2s and just go super aggressive with both of those hero powers being as strong as they are. So I think I'll just stick to like the basics when I say several 2s, several 3s, fill in the blanks. So I can do like a 5-hour, chorus class to class, meta to meta on how many different drops you want.
Yeah, well, I remember myself, like, when I didn't know about the Twitch community and, like, all the Hearthstone community outside of just playing the game. Like, for me, it's only been a year that I know it exists.
Yeah.
So when I was playing Arena, I was like, which card is more powerful? Like, that's how I would have done it. Do it. And then I would, like, go into Arena and get completely wrecked. And I was like,
yeah, I think that's a lot of people. I think you can often tell as well when you see like a player who doesn't play Arena and plays a lot of constructed come in.
Yeah.
Because you see like when Ruined Mithril Rod was before it was 5 mana, even when it was 3 mana, it's garbage in Arena. Like it's worse than garbage. Like it's a waste of space. And you'd see like people just trying to make Demon Seed lock without the Demon Seed. And just making like this kind of constructed archetype. But the thing about constructed is you pick all 30 of your cards, right? You can't really get by with a constructed deck and constructed with only 18 out of the 30 cards. You're going to get destroyed. And the same thing's true in Arena for the most part. You can high roll the 1 in a million draft where you actually get a sweet constructed archetype. It happens very occasionally, but for the most part, it's completely different. Cards that are great and constructed are garbage in Arena, and cards that are great in Arena are garbage and constructed. It goes both ways.
Definitely. It's very intricate how Arena works, and like me doing some co-ops. When I started streaming, I did lots of co-ops with people in chat. Yes, I mean to be able to understand it, like it's like a different game completely.
It really is. Yeah, no, in a lot of ways, it really, really is.
Yeah, no. Wow. Okay. And so if we talk about the last meta, so what did you like and what did you dislike in the last meta?
Okay. So the last meta, the one that we just had a switch over now to this one. So you're talking about the one prior, the full 2 months prior?
Yeah, because I mean we just started the new meta, so.
Yeah. Okay. So the last one is the first meta in a long time that there were no adjustments to arena and card offering rate. So we had a lot of demon hunters and shamans. They were the top two classes, and they remained the top two classes over the entire 2 months. That being said, for a meta that went with no balances, I think it managed to actually like it. It was one of the tougher metas in a long time because of that lack of balancing. When they lost, a couple of the devs said they lost a pretty key member to the team who was really, really good at those balances. So a little unfortunate. As far as no balances go, it actually was pretty good if you compare it to the non-balanced metas of like 2 years ago. But man, did I ever get sick of hearing Avalanche over and over and over again from Snowfall Guardian. I dislike that card immensely. I don't like it. It freezes my. I can't. It skips my turn. It's in arena. You think a 5 mana at the time, 12/12 freeze your board is bad and constructed. In arena, it's game over. So that card frustrated me. But I did think that despite a lot of lower win rate classes not being picked by most people, that they were very playable and you were able to win games with them. I couldn't ever really find a counter to Snowfall Guardian, so I'd often just lose games to that. But everything else, like Druid, I think had a 40% win rate on the meta and was number 10 out of all 10 classes. And it was my number one best class, better than Demon Hunter or Shaman, which were the top two. So I think a lot of people just see the stats and just pick the number 1 and 2 and pick the number 1, 2, and 3. But I think there were actually a lot of playable classes. So I did enjoy the amount of variety that I was able to play with. But it was a little monotonous playing against the same class on the other side over and over and over again.
Okay.
So, yeah. Still a pretty enjoyable meta. Again, I think it was not one of my favorites on the year, but all things considered, still actually one I enjoyed.
Good. And which month was it again that you got number 1?
Dang, I knew you were going to ask this and I didn't even look. Man, it wasn't that long ago. I want to say 5 months ago, maybe?
In the fall?
Or 6 or 4, maybe 5 months
okay.
ago, I think.
It gives us an idea.
Maybe ask Language Hacker, he'll know. Yeah. I think it was around there.
So, and when you say like you got a tie during that month, how can you know you have a tie?
So there is, even though it's not kept as a live leaderboard with all the rest of the classes, they release an article on the top arena players every 2 months. So the leaderboard periods go from the first, for example, like we're coming right to the end of a leaderboard period right now. At the end of February, and then a new one will start March 1st and go for 2 months. And then they release an article with the top 200 players for each region. And the leaderboard is the average wins for a player's best consecutive 30 runs. So it lists them as, for example, that meta, Language Hacker and I both had our best 30 runs as an 8.23 wins per run average over 30. So we can see that we exactly tied, but I was ahead of them, and it's... now, they don't actually announce what their tiebreaker system is, but we have confirmed that it's not alphabetical order, it's not random, it's not win percentage as far as who goes most ones, 12 ones, 12 zeros, and we've kind of just ruled everything out that it's number of 12s. I think I've been in like 8 ties, and I think I've lost 1, and I usually know the other players, right? I know a lot of the top arena players, and so we reach out, we compare stats, and we take a look at what it could be. And it seems to be that the tiebreaker is number of, unless there's a small chance it's completely random and I didn't earn my number one. But I think that's come on, that's got to be impossible. It seems that it's number of 12 wins.
Oh my god! But they should make it a bit more clear. That would
I agree.
That would be nice.
I think it would be nice. I think it would be nice as well. Yeah.
Al Kelly, are you in chat?
Yeah, you know what? It's I've got faith. I mean, there's been so much going on with new BG's content, and even Duels has had some sweet updates. Mercenaries coming out. That Arena has, maybe been a little bit more under the rug in some regards. I got faith that now that buddies are in play, give Arena another year. I bet we're gonna see. I bet we're gonna see some attention to the mode. Arena's popping off, Heart Queen.
Good.
I'm telling you, it's gonna happen.
Well, I've played a couple of games recently, and people were really enjoying it. And I did well. Maybe I should go for Leaderboard.
Yeah. we had Summit playing Arena for a bit there. Did you see that? Summit
yes,
OG?
I saw.
I mean, that guy knows what he's doing, right? He picks Arena out of all modes. Seems, I don't know. You tell me.
So that brings me to my next question. Do you play other modes in your free time?
Yes, I do. Maybe I need to maybe less, honestly. I do every once in a while. Every once in a while, depends on a few other factors. But I've always been a big fan of every mode. I used to play more constructed, even off stream. In fact, even like the first maybe year I streamed, I would still be like trying to make legend each month. Just to make sure I was keeping my constructed game peak in case who knows what's going to happen with the stream. But I've been playing a little less constructed lately. I've been playing a little more duels now off stream the last couple. Ever since they made for those duels players out there. Ever since they made their last set of adjustments with the Shadow Priest being nerfed and Death Rattle Hunter being nerfed, I've been playing a little bit more. I feel like the meta is much more balanced than it was. The only mode I really don't... I play BGs pretty consistently off stream every once in a while. I go through phases of BGs. I usually get around to like 8k MMR before like the rotation happens. To get any higher, you kind of need to commit a little bit more time. The only mode I really don't play is Mercenaries, I think. Everything else I do play. Even sometimes on stream, every once in a while.
Oh, nice. I didn't know you play other modes on
it's extremely small percentage of the time. But I just the other week I played some duels. I'll probably actually play a little more duels this next month. But it's just like not nearly as much as Arena, right?
Of course. And I mean, you probably concentrate on Arena because you don't want to be like a variety streamer.
Yeah, I mean, it's a hard line to figure out, right? Is like, I at one end you got to be streaming content that you really want to be streaming, right? And I do want to be streaming Arena, or I wouldn't be streaming it, to be clear. But like, you also grow, with a community that expects certain content, and it's not like you stream what you want, you make content that you want to create, but you also want to make a community and be delivering, kind of what you've been creating to your community. So I do a lot of Arena. I also do variety games that aren't Hearthstone, small streams now, kind of like twice a week, which I never did before, and I'll mix in some other games as long as you're not taking away from the Arena content. Like too much. I feel like it's kind of just fun to kind of mix whatever in,
A little marbles.
A little marbles. Yeah, little marbles. That's Isherwood's thing. He got me into it. I'm much better at Arena than I am at marbles, it turns out.
I agree. Me too.
Seems impossible.
Yes. Okay, so in all the metas that you had as an Arena player, which one was your favorite one, and which one was the one that you enjoyed the least?
Okay, that's a good question. My favorite meta. I've had a lot of metas I've really really enjoyed. Um, does any one stick out completely above the others? I've definitely got a least favorite. That's for sure.
We can
But I feel
start
like I've
with the
got
least.
okay. My least favorite was the most recent dual class meta. By far my worst results personally, and just like unbelievable. So okay, what happened with the latest dual class meta is they announced that dual class was going to happen for 1 week. And the arena community was like, hey, what the heck? We usually get it for 3 weeks. This is our one thing a year. We would like it to be longer. And so they said, okay, yeah, we'll make it until the end of whatever it was, like at the end of November
October,
even.
November, yeah.
Yeah, until the next expansion in December. I think it might have even gone as late as early December. So we ended up getting, instead of 1 week of dual class, 5 weeks of dual class. And I'm sure the intention was to just have it for a week and then, go back to some other meta. But with the 5 weeks, we just got stuck with the same meta, again, with no adjustments, with some of the most imbalanced. I mean, there's so many class combinations, right? So balancing is a task. If it's a meta that's only 1 week, it's not really a big deal because people haven't really learned what combos are actually insane and what combos are weak. Then you just move on after playing a bunch of random stuff. But with 5 weeks, we found that out of how many combinations, there were like 5 that were good and so many that were terrible. So you saw the same combination of Paladin, Priest, and Warlock over and over and over and over again. And they had like 60% win rates. And then there were like a bunch of classes with like 27% win rates. Like you're expected to go 0 or 1 with these classes, and they were unplayable garbage. So your experience was pretty much get offered the good classes or get absolutely rolled, which was I did a lot of not rolling the good classes, which made for a pretty tough meta. It was my worst leaderboard appearance in years, my worst overall average in years, and just like the most and the thing is, I don't even like necessarily blame the lack of balancing. Like they never were intending to balance it, surely, with only 1 week. So it's just like with the way things went, the arena community wanted more. They gave us more, but I think maybe 3 weeks might be the sweet spot with like one micro adjustment. But that's definitely my least favorite. Was not a fan of that. And dual class is usually my favorite time of year. That was a rough one. There have been a lot of good metas in the last 2 years. I'd say there have been much more metas that I've thought were very good compared to ones that I thought were bad. Maybe 2 or 3 that I've been like, I don't think this is very good. I would, and again, this is all personal, right? It's like I would prefer this or this. So it's tough to really pick an absolute favorite. Probably the meta I got number 1, right? That was a great meta, surely. What was that meta? I don't even remember. It was probably amazing though, right? Probably like probably like 5 or 6 really just solid ones that I thought were pretty close.
Okay, good. Yeah, like the dual class for me, it was very difficult for me to play the dual class arena this year. So I think I did 1 run and then I stopped.
Well, that's the thing too, right? Is like as an arena player, I know what all the good combinations are and what all the bad combinations are. But if you don't play arena, say you don't even stream or watch Twitch, and you're just like a casual player who wants to enjoy a dual class run, and you come in and you pick your favorite combination, that combination could have, I think it went as low as a 23% win rate, which is just so brutal, right? So you come in and you get this combination that has a 23% win rate, you get absolutely steamrolled, and you don't play again, right? It seems like that's just a way too low percentage win rate to be acceptable. Like you're gonna have people just quit because like how are they supposed to win with this garbage? And then you play your opponent who has literally a 40% higher win rate combination before the draft even starts. Your odds of even having a chance, regardless of skill, is extraordinarily low.
Yeah, no, definitely. Okay, good. And so if we go into the food section of the interview. So
I know supposed to bring something?
No, but it's always
Bring
the
a snack.
always the part where people are like, ooh, the stressful part of the interview. So, are you a cheese person? Do you like cheese?
I like cheese. Am I a cheese person? Am I a cheese person? Man, this was not the question I was expecting first. Yes.
Okay.
To an extent. that's a like, cheating answer.
Like how does cheese takes a place in your life?
I mean, I enjoy cheese. I enjoy nearly every food. I'm no cheese expert. Like I'm gonna say yes, cheese is super important to me. I love cheese, and then you're gonna be like, okay, name your 10 favorite cheeses. And I'm gonna be like, oh my god.
Top three favorite cheeses.
I'm no expert in cheese. I feel like my wife and I have delved into some different cheeses to have as snacks as we do whatever, and it's great. I guess I just love food. I guess maybe I'm not a cheese person. I just love to eat food, and cheese is food.
Okay.
And therefore I love cheese.
If I would go in your fridge right now, which type of cheese would be there?
Okay, so this is not fair because I've got a lot of cheese in my fridge right now because I just had for Valentine's Day we did like a whole my wife and I did a whole like different breads and cheeses and stuff. So I have all these cheeses that I got in the gourmet cheese section that I would not have normally. You'd think I'd be this gourmet cheese guy, but I just happen to have like I think I finished the brie. I had this like spicy Gouda that was really delicious. I had this like aged white cheddar that was super super good. And I've got those are the ones I got in the gourmet section. They were good.
Good. Okay.
Yeah,
so that's
good.
It. Yeah, it's a cheese friendly channel here, so.
You're this question comes from you being super into cheese. Then
yes.
Is what's going on here. Yes. Understood.
Yes. So my body is composed from coffee, cheese, and wine.
I was gonna say I have heard the words cheese and wine in your past interviews a lot. I should have put that. I just should have put that together pretty quickly.
Well, it's my part French.
Yeah, true.
So you mentioned wine. So are you a wine or a beer drinker?
Yeah, both of those are wonderful.
Both equally?
Yeah. No, oh no. Well, okay, so I drink way more beer than wine, but it doesn't necessarily mean I'm not a wine person, Heart Queen, right? Like I enjoy wine immensely. I just bring it out at different occasions. I am known, for those who watch my stream, I am known to have a beer on occasion. If I had wine to the capacity that I drink beer, I would probably not be making too many leaderboards in Arena. I think wine affects me a lot more than beer does. That might partially be because I don't drink it as often. But I guess I'm a beer guy, but I really do enjoy wine at the right time.
Good. And red or white?
Red.
Okay, good. So are you a cook?
I mean, everyone's a cook if you put your mind to it, right? I mean, am I a good cook? Because no. No. I mean, I don't know. I'm more of a baker. Me and my wife have talked about this. She's more of the one who would like cook things, and I bake things because sometimes cooking can be rewarded with creativity and like, your knowledge of, I could put a little this in and that would counter out this. And baking is do exactly this and exactly this, and then it'll come out well, right? So I'm more of the exact numbers person, and she's the creative one who can actually cook well. I mean, I can follow instructions. I can do basic things. I can cook to an extent, but I feel like making a simple recipe I don't feel like that counts as like cooking necessarily for the purpose of this question.
Yeah,
Like I
well,
can
so
make
some
some
people
easy
don't.
things.
No, but some people don't cook. Like they get food like already ready at the grocery store, for example. Like
Yeah, no, I'll make like simple stir fries and like pasta and whatever. Like, stuff that's super super easy. Like I can chop up some vegetables and throw them in a pan and then they're cooked and I'm like, I cooked. But I'm not like actually really making anything. Stir
okay.
fries just yeah.
So stir fry would be your specialty.
I yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my
Like
specialty.
if you wanted to impress your wife on a
Oh,
dinner,
geez.
what would you
I would
do?
take her out to somewhere nice, Um, impress my wife with something. I could cook, like I could cook. I would just allot a long period of time, get some YouTube videos up of somebody else making it too, and like what they have to say. I could cook. I feel like a lot of the reason I don't cook a super, like a lot of the time is because like I just never really had the time when I was working and streaming. So I'd just make it, I'd get home from my job at the restaurant, I'd whip up something super quick up and then get ready to stream. So I didn't really get too into cooking.
And so do you order in sometimes?
Yeah, every once in a while I do.
Okay, so what's your go-to?
Oh, geez. What's my go-to? Probably,
Pizza, sushi.
so usually if I'm getting sushi, it's when my wife and I are both getting sushi. It's got to be shawarma, chicken shawarma.
Ooh, good
Yeah.
choice. Good choice. I like that.
It is good.
And a good pizza too is hard to.
Oh, well, of course. I mean, of course, a good pizza. Yeah, that's good. Goes without saying. Yeah.
Good, good. And okay, fruits or vegetables?
Um. Yeah, fruits or vegetables. Both a little bit to an extent. The first half of the day is for fruits. The second half of the day is for vegetables. I guess. I mean, they're so similar, aren't they? I don't know. Both.
Okay, it's okay. I mean, so you you like them both equally.
Sure. Yeah. I don't. Yes. I have no strong feelings one way or the other. I just it's they're. I mean, if you're barely looking, like if you're at the grocery store and you're just not paying too much attention, they're all the same, right? Fruits, vegetables. They're good for you. They're colorful. you know.
Good,
I
good.
I like them
Interesting.
both. I like them both.
So, do you have a top three?
Top three fruits and vegetables. Yeah. Okay. Apple. That's a real good one. That's a great fruit. I mean, I know that's classic, but it's classic for a reason. It's so easy. Grab an apple on your way out the door in the morning. It's
Okay.
really good for you. A nice apple. I love an apple.
Okay.
Next,
Apple number one.
apple is great. Do we eat spinach? Is spinach technically a vegetable?
Yeah.
Does spinach count?
It's a vegetable, yes.
It's a vegetable, right?
Yeah.
Spinach I like a lot because you can put it like with freaking everything, and it's also like just really good for you too. I put it in smoothies. Huh?
Yeah.
I put it in some fruit smoothies, and that's
Yeah.
really good. It makes it look disgusting, but it's tasty. Put it in pasta. Put it on a sandwich. It's versatile.
Very.
Yeah. So that's definitely up there. A third? Oh boy, I'm out. Those are my two. Apple and spinach. All the others are unimportant. I can't do it. I couldn't do that I couldn't put another fruit or vegetable in the same tier as apple or spinach, I don't think.
Okay. Well, what else do you put in your smoothie?
Oh, you're right. Tons of fruits. they're like, like I could put whatever. I could put usually berries.
Okay,
I'll
so
put in there. You know what?
berries.
Blueberries are pretty good.
Okay, so-
Blueberries are pretty good.
Let's go with
those are up there.
blueberries.
Let's go with
Top
blueberries,
three.
number 3. But to be clear, that's number 3 next to apple and spinach,
Which is tier one.
which are yeah.
Which are tier one.
That's right. Those are good.
Good.
Good fruits and vegetables.
Yes. I'm telling you, this is always the part where people are like, what? What are you gonna cook tonight?
Nothing.
Nothing.
I have no, okay, outside of the cheese I have in the fridge, I have like no food in the house because I'm moving. This is my last day in this house.
Oh,
Yeah.
last day in this house.
Literally, this house that I'm in right now is completely empty except for my stream setup.
Okay.
I'm just sitting here in a completely empty room with my desk and my computers. Just to, the city's Cambridge, so not too far from Kitchener.
Why?
Just a little in the same. My landlord sold my place. I was planning on staying here, but my landlord sold this place, so I had to leave.
Wow.
It was trapped. Yeah.
Before moving to the States.
Yeah, right. I was planning on staying here until I was moving to Seattle, but now I gotta stay one more place before.
Well, at least.
So I'm probably gonna just order some food. Maybe I'll order some chicken shawarma tonight. I don't know. I all the food is gone. I probably have to just either eat cheese or.
That's a good.
I've got a few things left in the fridge, but I have no dishes. I have 0 dishes, so that makes eating a lot more difficult than you'd imagine.
Definitely. So maybe you can keep everything in boxes so it's ready to go.
That's
you
true.
just move the setup and your bed.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Ay, ay, ay.
Yeah, it's been a weekend. I also am leaving for Seattle tomorrow morning. So I'm moving all my stuff into this place, not unpacking any of it, and then just flying to Seattle for like 5 weeks. And I'll just deal with it when I get back.
For 5 weeks?
Yeah.
Are you gonna stream from there?
Yep. I've got my wife has a nice setup that she empties her closet and shoves me in there, and I stream from this closet. I've done it once before. It worked pretty well. And this time we even have like a bunch of sound panels lining the closet. She's actually been working on that a lot the last couple days. And we got lights in the closet. It's not a walk-in closet, but it's spacious enough. It's a nice streaming zone. The only thing is, like, obviously in a tight space, you worry about echoing and the audio quality. But we're working on that. It's a good spot.
Why
also,
do you need to be in the closet?
I don't understand. That's where I go. I don't ask questions. I get in the closet and I start streaming. So last time I was there, my wife was working from home, and she still works from home a couple days of the week. So she sometimes has to be on calls here and there. So just having a spot to just shove me away, so I'm not when I'm yelling about a top deck my opponent had, her boss doesn't just hear me screaming about that. So putting me off into the corner. I prefer it, honestly. It's a nice spot. It can be a little awkward when you're streaming just in the open as you're, someone else is right beside you doing something else, and it can sometimes even just draw your attention away. So I prefer it. It's good. It's a nice closet, and I'm telling you, it's not small, Heart Queen. Like I can move my arms like in a full 360 rotation. Like it's not
like a real room.
It's a no. Like it's I'm comfortable. I can stretch out my legs and put my arm in the air if I want.
Okay, so we
would
good. Like to have a picture of the closet from the outside and inside. I think your fan would love that. On Instagram,
we'll definitely do that. Yeah,
story,
we'll definitely
maybe.
do that. Yeah.
Plus the wedding pictures.
The wedding pictures are so good. I'd share them all. 6. How many are there? I think we have so many hundreds. We'll pick a couple more. And get those out.
Yeah. I will poke you if you.
Perfect. Yeah. They're definitely coming. Yeah.
So what is asking? Can you do push-ups in the closet?
Yeah. So last time I did not do push-ups. So one of my for context. One of my channel point rewards is to do 25 push-ups, and then I have a second camera that just goes to a separate push-up cam. But when I'm in the closet, there's no room for push-ups, and a second camera to find somewhere to do push-ups has been tough. So no, I can't. And then what I did last time is I put push-ups on sale when I got back home and was punished for weeks, and that's probably what's going to happen again, which is... I mean, it's not ideal, but I don't know why I did this. I don't know why I made this a reward. It's terrible, but I'm stuck with it now.
Well, at least it's a workout.
No, I kid. It's very good. I mean, to get some exercise in while you're doing a job that's just sitting around is good.
Yeah,
It's good and bad, you know. You know.
good. And so for the setup, you have like a laptop, or so you have
Yeah,
like a real setup at home, and then you bring a laptop to stream.
that's right. Yeah. It's funny because my laptop is actually like just better than my computer. So I bought my computer when I had no idea if I was going to be doing this even more than like 2 months, right? So I kind of got the base minimum for what I should have to stream. And then when I purchased my laptop, I was already, much larger of a streamer and knew that I wanted to pursue it a little further. So I spent a little more on my laptop. So like my computer is what it came. I've added a little bit to my PC since I started streaming, but it started as like 8 gigs of RAM, i5 processor, and my laptop is i7 16 base. So it's just like my laptop's just better than my computer. So it's like it's good.
And
I should, yeah.
and so and you do you use it when you're home, your laptop, or you
Every once in a while. Every once in a while.
so you use your webcam
Not to
and
stream, not to stream or anything,
not to
but
stream.
like,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay, so when you stream, you always use your setup, and you only
yeah.
use your laptop to stream when you're away.
When I'm traveling, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, very interesting. And so with a laptop, how do you see chat when you see the game, the game is on your laptop and it's on your phone?
I've always had a second monitor hooked up to, except I think there was one time I was at like a Airbnb or a hotel or something in Victoria, BC, where I only had one monitor. Yeah, I don't know how streamers do it. What, 2 monitors is sometimes barely enough. Lots of people only using, like, we could get into the whole, apparently there's a whole argument around windowed mode versus not windowed mode in Hearthstone, which, we don't need, that's just a whole bunch of drama. I don't know if we need to get into that, but I always have a second monitor for chat and a couple other things, whether I'm streaming from my laptop or not.
That you bring with you in your luggage.
So in this case, my wife has a couple waiting for me.
Okay, good. Good. Because it's always like it's always difficult to like stream while you're traveling, and you're one of the only which I've seen do it while you're away.
Yeah, it's always nerve-wracking about the quality of your internet connection, especially if you're going to somewhere like an Airbnb. And something that we're always looking for when we're traveling is, what's the internet like? And they're like, oh, it's great, we've never had any problems. It's like, okay, can you test the upload speed? Because no one ever knows about upload speed unless you're a streamer, pretty much, right? So you can have like great internet, but their upload speed is terrible, so you can't stream from it. So we're constantly like having like Airbnb hosts like, hey, can you just run a upload speed test for us? And just finding like the best spot there so I can actually stream.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's so well. It must be very difficult to do it. So you need to have at least some of
Yeah, and
the
like sometimes it's a little bit worse quality, but like people understand, right? Like when you're traveling, I think they're mostly just happy that you're actually streaming. Be like, everyone, like the quality is gonna be not as good today. Obviously, I'm on my laptop in like, how many like how far away. So just nice to be able to actually be able to stream when I'm gone.
good. And I'm guessing you bring your mic and your other equipments with you.
Yeah, cams, mics. So my wife has the same mic as I do, so I can leave that home when I go to her place. But generally, when I'm traveling and I'm streaming while I'm traveling, I just bring everything else pretty much. Yeah.
Good.
Oh,
Well, it's a lot of dedication to stream while traveling, also.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not like you have to stream your exact regular schedule when you're traveling either. But I do like to. I've never really loved to take time off. I know like it's something a streamer should. I think there's like an expectation for streamers to stream like a lot more than maybe they ought to. So I've gotten a little bit better at being okay with taking a bit of time off. But I still don't like to leave, especially with how much traveling I do and plan to continue to do. Don't love to just leave, my viewers high and dry for too long.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Just the right amount. Yeah.
I took 10 days last year.
Yeah. That was about the time I took when I got married, and it was it's such a strange feeling not to play Hearthstone for 10 straight days.
Oh no, not straight. Total.
Oh, total.
Total. I didn't
yeah.
stream 10 days total last year.
That's crazy. Yeah, I know. And yeah, that. Take a week. Take a week. Hey, get yourself some nice cheese and wine. And take a week. You know?
I do it on stream, so we can discuss.
That's true. Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
No, I'm gonna plan on it. It's just with the pandemic, like we're not really traveling, so like.
Yeah. What else are you doing? Like,
Exactly.
Yeah, I hear that.
Chilling with my cat Bloom. Chilling. Okay. Okay. So there was one question about do you have a pet?
I don't. I tragically do not. I love animals. I love cats and dogs, but I have not really been in a position to get an animal. I was living with a bunch of roommates out in university. Obviously, that would just be a terrible idea. Living with a bunch of university dudes, in a house, and then once I moved out, started streaming pretty soon after, and that took up a lot of time, and I just felt like I didn't have the time to really be taking care of a dog or cat by myself. Plus, now that maybe I could, I'm going to be moving to Seattle, hopefully, as soon as possible, right? So once I get to Seattle, my wife and I are definitely going to be looking into getting a dog. But as of right now, no pets. Yeah, 100%. That'll be like, one of our first on the agenda. We might not even be fully moved into where we're moving into. Get a dog,
Do you have
definitely both of us want that.
Do you have a name in head?
Yeah, so I do. I've had a name that I've thought maybe I'd call my dog, and that is Momo, after the Momo from Avatar. If I had two dogs, big one, small one, I was thinking Appa and Momo would be hilarious and awesome. But we might also be looking at rescue dogs that already have names. And, if they're older and respond to those names well, then of course we wouldn't change them. So it depends. But those are names I've thought about when I eventually get a dog. I've always known I was going to get a dog eventually, so.
Good. Sorry, I'm looking at my mods for the question. The chat question. But Momo, that seems like a great name. One of my friends is calling his dog Mr. Pickle.
Mr. Pickles? Wait, Mr. That's excellent.
So that's why I'm into dog's name right now. So that's why I ask.
Mr. Pickles. I think of, I don't know if it's a reference on purpose or not to BoJack Horseman, but I think of the dog. There's a dog, Pickles, in that. Great name.
Okay, so first question from chat. What tattoos do you have? If you were to get a Hearthstone tattoo, what would it be?
Okay, good question. So I have two tattoos. One is on my chest. It is a dream catcher. The other you can see a decent amount on my arm here, which is a little more abstract. But it's the Northern Lights is this part as a wing up my arm. So and the dream catcher is right here. If I were to get a Hearthstone tattoo, oh my goodness.
But is it inspired from Aboriginal people?
No, that's a good question. I get that question a lot, of course, with both the Northern Lights and the Dreamcatcher.
Yeah.
But the Dreamcatcher doesn't really look like a traditional, First Nations Dreamcatcher. It's also got the same coloring, like it's blue and I don't know. It's not like a realistic necessarily looking one. The feathers also come they don't just go down, they come up and go down into my shoulder to start this tattoo. Going into I probably won't go into what inspired them too much, because there's a lot. My tattoos are a very personal and very serious thing to me, which makes the Hearthstone part of this also man, what would I get? I'd have to think a lot about this and make it perfect. What would I get? I honestly don't know, but it'd probably be something It'd probably be something sizable and like in detail that incorporates a few different parts of Hearthstone. Like I'm not really one to just get a small like little symbol or something because it's fun or whatever. I usually would be doing a lot of research, looking into exactly what I want incorporated into and kind of put it all together. So maybe like it could incorporate my favorite class, my favorite card. It could incorporate like my favorite expansions theme or something, and kind of like put it all together to make something of a little bit of value outside of just like one small Hearthstone symbol or card. So it's a tough question. I don't really have an exact answer, but that's because like my tattoos generally take a lot of time to think about and to make.
Okay, good. And so there's some suggestion in chat. So the leaderboard date with your name ahead of language hacker.
Just the two names, Judge 8.23 language hacker. That's pretty good. Maybe that's incorporated in the background of that tattoo, right? I've got like the foreground, and then in the background you see that leaderboard, and you just see like my name and then language hackers. Yeah, perfect.
Good. And someone else is saying raid box Onyxia on your arm.
Never. I forget that card exists. What card? I've never heard of that card. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, so question number 2. I see you do a lot of push-ups. Any other physical activities do you do off stream?
Good question. The answer to that before COVID was yes. I went to the gym 3 to 4 times a week before COVID started. The answer after COVID is nope, not really. And I need to get back to the gym. They just opened again. We just actually got out of lockdown. We're pretty similar in that, actually, Quebec and Ontario. I think you guys just got out of lockdown a little bit after we did. So like we've been about a month now that gyms have been open. And push-ups are great, and they're but you kind of need to walk and do some other exercise too. So I used to a lot more, and I really do hope to get back into it.
Okay, good. So what are some of your favorite variety games you have streamed?
Good question. I've enjoyed a lot of the variety games I've done, but I think my top variety games have been Hollow Knight and Ori and the Blind Forest and Ori and the Will of the Wisps. Pretty similar games, but they're both just so excellently done. I will probably be doing another playthrough. It's the only game I've considered doing another playthrough for of Hollow Knight. The Phoenix Wright series was a classic. I was suggested to do the Phoenix Wright series as my first variety game because of the judge theme. It's a whole courtroom based game, investigation and courtroom based. And that was super, super fun too. Pretty surprisingly good, honestly. I expected a lot less from the Phoenix Wright series, and it was very good. But the top one's definitely got to be Hollow Knight, I think.
Okay, good. Do you play board games?
I do. Yeah, I play a decent amount of board games. I've got a friend of mine who is really, really into board games and has like, dozens and dozens of like interesting games that aren't really like super well known. My cousin actually wanted to start a board game shop and owns a lot of games, and at family gatherings we play a lot of different board games. Again, a little bit less since COVID hit because not really as many people to play them with when you're not allowed to get together. But I've played a lot of board games with my family and extended family as well. My wife enjoys them a lot too.
Oh yes?
Yeah, any sort of games, puzzles. Yeah, we do all sorts of stuff. Together. We actually, my wife and I really got into recently these games, like they're called exit games. They're like little escape the room kind of like board games.
Yes.
That are like filled with puzzles. They're not really technically board games, I guess. But we've been doing a lot of those in the last little bit since COVID hit. Good ones to do together.
Yeah, and it's fun to do like in real,
They are, yeah, they are. I've done. I think I've done 3 or 4 of the real escape the room ones. I've only done like local ones with the hour time limit. I'm definitely interested in like going, to Toronto or somewhere like another big city, maybe somewhere in the States, and doing like there's some pretty extensive like 3-hour ones that I'd be super into checking out. Those are they're a lot of fun.
Yeah, I've done some. I've done a lot of exit games.
Yeah, we just got into them kind of recently. I actually just bought literally yesterday 5 more to send to my wife for this next month. I think we've done about 4 or 5 of them now, and we've really loved them.
Nice, nice. Okay, so favorite gaming or non-gaming activities you like to do with your wife?
I got a lot of favorite activities there. It's tough because we haven't been able to see each other, obviously, nearly like in person as much as we would like. So a lot of our activities are long distance, and we're watching shows. We're doing like online games, like those escape games. We've found a few websites for 2-player versions of stuff like that. A number one favorite, like there's just so many answers to that. Again, it's something I don't know if I can pick just a number one. Even just like sitting down and watching. We've been watching a lot of Murdoch Mysteries. Anybody? Canadian show. Together, and just sitting down and watching that has been great. I think it's honestly probably just back to playing those puzzle games together. That's been one of my absolute favorites lately. Maybe it's just recency, but probably those games has been awesome. There's just like so many answers, right? Like kind of just anything. Like there's so many answers. Like making food, going out, like I don't know. There's a lot of stuff.
Okay, good. Where does Pirate Judge come from?
Wait, where does which? Oh, Pirate Judge?
Yes.
Where does he come from? There's a few. Who asked this? There's a few. What can I say here? Where does he come from? How do I? Somebody sewered me here. What do I say? Where does he come from? I don't know. I ran into him. I ran into him on the open seas once, and we just clicked. Like, who you are? You know what you've done here. How do you expect me to answer that question? Do you mean where does he come from? As in like what geographical area, or do you mean like the thought? Like, how did the thought? Is that what we think?
Yeah.
From my
not the geographical area.
Yeah. Yeah. Where does he come from? So for those wondering what I'm going on about, another one. They used to actually be channel point rewards, but now I do them as community rewards. I've done recently. I do like these little like dress up little like cosplay streams where I dress up as a pirate. I've done Fancy Judge where I'm Sir Judgington the Third. I've done one more I did Judge where I'm a literal judge and like each game is a case, and like potentially some more. They're very, very expensive. I do them very rarely, but they're a lot of fun. And the most recent one was Pirate Judge, where I'm a pirate and I just drink a bunch of rum. And it's, I have to pick every pirate I see that's offered because I'm like, oh, like I sailed with this person or whatever. So I've got these redemptions that are a lot of fun to do. And I just did Pirate Judge recently. So I don't know. There's no reason I just picked stuff that I could easily get costumes for and felt like I could actually do, right? Like that I could actually make a stream out of. So stay tuned. More nonsense streams like that coming up at some point soon, I'm sure.
Well, that's why I do Shark and Pikachu and Unicorn.
Yeah. Yeah. Right? They're fun, they're easy, they're good.
Yes. Okay, so next question. After you become a US citizen, what American activity will you do to celebrate?
Man, American activity to celebrate. What do Americans do? I mean, there's some stereotypes. What am I going to do? I don't know. What do Americans do? I'm going to go to the gun range and touch a gun for the first time. Man.
Okay, yeah, that's good.
American activity. That's good?
That's good. Like, I mean, Americans love their guns.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I got something better because I'm probably not going to do that, but I just don't know what it would be. Something about eating. What's in a good American food? Just like eat. I don't know. I got to think on that one.
Hamburger, hot dog, pizza.
I probably will eat a hamburger when I go to Seattle. So like, yeah,
Okay. So people see Arena as too vanilla. Do you think Arena could use some unique cards to help itself stand out amongst the other game modes?
Yeah, so that's a good question, and I think that especially in some past expansions, like one of the biggest complaints for a lot of people, which sometimes is actually what brings people to Arena, is that like I don't want to just be playing a River Croc into a Spider Tank into a Yeti. That's boring. Those cards aren't exciting, which is true. They're not that exciting. A lot of players like the challenge of making good like decisions in trades. Like when do you make a value trade? When do you go face? And a lot of players like being rewarded for their better decisions than their opponents. I think a lot of players do like that. But at the same time, how often can you just play these vanilla cards? And I think that Arena now, and some people might not know this, Arena now, like there are decks that you draft. I'd say a lot of decks that you draft that would crush people in Constructed from a few years ago. Not now, not like Arena decks now would beat Constructed decks now, but Arena decks now would beat Constructed decks from a few years ago, which is actually again, some of them, which is actually insane to think about. I think that because of the nature of the insane cards that have been printed in the last few expansions, that this is less of a problem than it used to be for players who are looking for more than just vanilla curve. That being said, I think the idea of having a few arena-specific cards is very, very good. We had was it Caverns of Time event way back, where they did exactly that, and they had some powerful arena-specific cards. And you'll see some competitive players who are like not a huge fan because, oh, this specific card is way too strong and it's just gonna, beat me. And it's a viable complaint competitively. But I think for popularity of the mode and for just overall fun of the mode, having a few arena specific things, even if they're rotating out, like say every 2 months, there's like one new one per class or whatever, would be a very, very good idea and would bring a lot more fun to the mode for those players who are worried about just playing vanilla Hearthstone.
Okay, good. Thanks. That was very interesting. Best tips for staying constantly on top in the Arena leaderboard?
Okay, that's a good one. So going back to what I said a while ago about drafting enough twos and threes, like a lot of people will say, metas change, of course. Meta to meta, you're going to be doing different things. But really mastering what is constant meta to meta is big. And something that's always constant, no matter what people say, is that curve and early tempo wins games. You'll have huge value metas where people are like, oh, well, curve doesn't even matter anymore. And that has never once been true, and it never once will be true. Always prioritize your 2-drops and 3-drops. I've taken, a solid 3 over like some pretty strong 6s, 7s, 8s because I just don't need them in my deck. You get too heavy, you miss curve, you lose. So master what is consistent meta to meta. Get yourself to be disciplined with your draft to make sure you're hitting enough 2s and 3s, and it'll go a long way.
Okay, good. Striving to be a top leaderboard player seems stressful. Do you have any activities to help your mental health?
That's a good question because I feel like, especially at the beginning of my career, I really, really wanted to hit those top finishes. To the point like I'd be playing a bunch off stream to pick those top classes, so I didn't have to be that repetitive on stream. And I kind of got in a mindset like, okay, I got my top finish. People expect a top finish from me next time too. And I want my stream to grow and I want people to think I'm good. And the truth is like, it's just not worth the amount of mental space to be thinking that way all the time. As far as activities, like I think it's important, no matter what game you play, to like put it aside for a bit. And as far as like even games go, like playing another game entirely, just to take your mind away from it a little bit. I'd say that's probably what's worked for me the best is play a different game, something that's not Hearthstone, something that you don't have to think about it even a little bit. Even if it's on stream, like, and you just need to step away from it for a bit, even if it costs you viewers, just do it. It's not worth the mental capacity to just wrap your head completely in it.
Okay, so 2 more questions. and I don't know what, but you probably will understand this.
Let's see.
Have you seen Hard Queen's cat Bloom? Does he qualify to be a chungus?
Oh, a chungus. That's a very good question. So I have seen Bloom, but only very briefly, like one time, and I was like, "Oh, Heart Queen has a cat. Is it a chungus?" Now, I don't want to get too personal with the cat here, because like we could get into some, it's rude to ask a cat about its weight. A chungus can be defined in a number of different ways, right? As we know, it can be relative, it can be, sheer size. I would say I would need it. Do you have you must have pictures of your cat on Instagram.
Let me bring it. Let me bring him.
Yeah, do you want to? Oh yeah, you're gonna bring your cat right now? Yeah, for sure. Let's get a good look. Yeah, absolutely. All right, when she gets back, I might have to take. There's a bit of delay, obviously, for me. Live on stream, so I might just take a second, but we'll get a good look at this cat and determine whether it's a chungus. I'm pretty sure it was a bit of a chungus, but I need another look. A big and wonderful chungus.
Guys.
Oh, hello. Oh, interesting. Is that a chungus? Can you lift that cat up a little bit higher for me? Oh, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. Pretty long cat there too. I don't know.
It's a lynx.
Good kitty.
It's a lynx.
That's so excellent. A chungus. I would
say he's very. Sorry, I just woke him up, so he's like he's a bit.
So the cat isn't like super chonky or anything.
No,
for those wondering.
He's actually very skinny. Yeah. The doc says he needs to eat more.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was like, it's the thing is, it's like just a large cat in general, right? I'm sure there's a lot of cats that would look at this cat and be like, "This is a chungus cat." Right? So I think this is a case where we're working with relativity, and I would say in a lot of cases, yes, it's not like an unhealthily large cat, and not by any means, but it's a big cat. So I'd say to a lot that would be a chungus, just based on the likelihood that other cats would be smaller. Good question.
Good. Okay, last question. Is there anything you want Blizzard and Twitch to do to help full-time content creators?
That's an interesting question. That's another one that, like, if I had an answer on the go, I'd say it immediately. But, okay, one comes to mind. 50-50 cut is a bit ridiculous. It's something that I think everyone kind of just accepts because that's the way it is on Twitch. But for those who don't know, like every subscription, 50% of it is taken by Twitch, 50% goes to the streamer, and then you're taxed on that 50%. So from any sub, you're looking at like somewhere, I know for me, like maybe like low 40% of actual income from that sub. And that's just not enough for your creators, right? I feel like, cut should definitely be above 50% for affiliates even as well, right? Like it should be probably minimum 60-40 for affiliates, and probably partners minimum 70-30. You can get 70-30 on tier 3 subs as a partner. Once you make partner, your tier 2 subs go to 60-40, your tier 3 go to 70-30. But I think most of us know that very, very few subs come in at higher than tier 1, right? Your tier 1 sub is to show your support to the streamer. It's great, it's basic, and it's it's perfect, it's great. But 50-50 cut is just something that people have come to accept that is just such a low percentage for your creators. So that one definitely comes to mind. As far as like promotion and stuff like that, I mostly feel like that's on the content creator. Obviously, you're going to want to promote your partnered streamers, and they do. They promote their big partnered streamers, which I don't think you can ask a little bit of like promoting some smaller partners, but I feel like for the most part, to get to the point of like being a bigger partner streamer, it's, you got to do your work and advertise yourself. But the cut is a big one for me.
Okay. Well, that's good. I think a lot of streamer thinks the same, so it's good to voice out to voice out that. Okay. Well, thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. This was fun.
It was a little bit longer than.
Yeah, I sometimes have a way of making that happen. So.
No, it's just because chat has so many questions and very interesting ones, but lots of very interesting questions. So a lot of bonus questions.
Yeah,
yes, thanks.
yeah, right. I hear you. Classic.
Thanks. Well, thank you so much for being here this morning. I really appreciate this. And I hope you're going to have a fantastic trip to Seattle and the rest of your weekend.